Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Professor Dr. Muhammad Tahir Masood. I came as a foreign professor in fall 2008 to teach at ComSets Islamabad. I've been teaching management and project management courses, and my profile, if you want to look at it, it's available on the web page of CIIT Islamabad Management Sciences faculty page. Okay, so you can look at that for the next few lectures, maybe 32 or so. And I hope you're focused and you're interested, and you work hard with me. And I am going to show you the textbook on which I have based my syllabus. This book is not available. I went to Rawalpindi, Islamabad, called Lahore. This is published in India. I could find any book from USA, but those books are very expensive. So those books which are published in India or Pakistan are cheaper and affordable. So this is published by Signage, and it's a new edition, 2011. I have given the details of that, so I'm going to call the publisher, and I have asked the booksellers, Said Book Company in Islamabad and Idris Book Bank in Rawalpindi, if they can get these books. You can also call and order these books. I don't know the price yet, but I don't think it is very expensive. It's a good book. I also have given a reference book which is available here in the bookstores. Okay, let's start that. Okay, here on the slide you see the lecture schedule first. The code of the course is Management 400. Credit hours are 3. The title is Management Theory and Practice. I've told you my name. I have put here the lecture topics. Okay, textbook, as I told you, this is the information about the book. I have also given their contact and all that in India, and I have also given a reference book name, which is Entrepreneurship and Management by two Indian authors, published by Pearson. This is also published in India. So these two books are very useful. Okay, but I'm going to use a lot of my material in preparing my presentations, and I'm going to do a lot of literature review and search. So I'll advise you to use internet also, because a lot of material is available on that these days. So I'm going to base my teaching on these books, but mainly also I'll prepare my presentations from the material available on the internet. Okay, this book is divided according to the course in various sections, so I have kept those intact. Section 1 today, in the lecture 1 and 2, I'm going to talk of introduction. I have introduced myself, and then I'm going to talk about the subject by itself, and mainly we'll talk of developments in management theory and definitions of management and important business definitions. And then section 2 is classical theories of management. I'll cover that in lecture 3, and section 3 is human relations and social psychological theories. Section 4 is theories of leadership and group behavior. Next section is modern approaches to management theory. Then second part is management in practice. And the next 7 section is context of management. 8 is management planning, and organizing for management, control in management. Part 3 relates to fundamental management, marketing, production, personnel, and financial. So in that, under that comes section 11, marketing management, production management, personnel management, financial aspects of management. So these are the 14 sections I have based my lectures on, or the topics I am going to cover on those. As you see, it's a very, very comprehensive course. Okay, it introduces you to more or less every topic within management. Okay. Some important definitions in management which we need to understand and know to talk in that language when we are discussing something or presenting something. First one is ABC, which is a business practice invented by Harvard. It's activity-based costing, who also invented the balanced scorecard, in which costs are tagged and accounted in detailed activity categories. Next is activity-based management, the use of ABC data to ascertain efficiency and profitability. Next is agency, which is defined as, in most US federal government legislation, an organization with a budget of at least 20 million per year. They are termed as agencies. Applied information economics, AIE, is practical application of scientific and mathematical methods to the information technology investment process. Architecture, we are familiar with this term. Design, the way components fit together. Assessment, any effort to gather, analyze, and interpret evidence which describes organizational effectiveness. It also relates to evaluation. Balanced scorecard, a measurement-based strategic management system. Baldrige Award, a prestigious award developed by US Commerce Secretary in 1984 to offer an incentive to companies that score highest on a detailed set of mandatory quality assessment criteria. Baseline, data on the current process that provides the metrics against which to compare improvements and to use in benchmarking. Benchmarking is a process of companies of one set of measurements of a process. Business case, a structured proposal for business improvement that functions are a decision package for organizational decision makers. Business process improvement, a methodology for focus change in a business process achieved by analyzing ASIS process using flowcharts. Business process re-engineering, a methodology for radical rapid change in business. Capital maturity model, a SAIL for assessing the degree of built-in documentation. Capability maturity model integration, a process improvement approach that provides organizations with the essential elements of effective process. Core competency, a distinctive area of expertise of an organization. Cost benefit analysis, this is when you need to evaluate a project. This is one of the 4 techniques which are recognized. Others are net present value, IRR, internal rate of return, and payback system. This one, cost benefit analysis, you total up the benefits for the project and you total up the total cost. You divide benefits by cost, and if the ratio is more than 1 or 1, it's a good project, it's a good investment. Otherwise, you need to be worried if it's less than 1. Similarly, payback technique is invented for smaller projects, particularly for IT projects in which technology and the methodology changes very quickly. So this is one of the 3-4 techniques of economic analysis. Customer, we use this terminology, so you understand that. Critical success factors, C key success factors, same definition. Discount factor is like, in layman's language, like compound interest. If you have done compound interest questions in your high school, this is the same thing. The value of the rupee or the dollar is not same. After 1 year, after 2 years, it's different. So when you do cost benefit analysis or you do other evaluations, you need to apply the discount factor and make the calculations. Economic value added, net operating profit after taxes are taken out of it. Effectiveness, degree to which an activity or initiative is successful in achieving a specific goal. When you do a project, you set certain goals. So this term is used, the degree to which an activity or initiative is successful in achieving a specific goal. Efficiency, we use this term every day, degree of capability or productivity of a process, such as the number of cases closed per year. Enterprise, common term, we use every day. Evaluation, I mentioned earlier on, you evaluate a project and you do cost benefit. That's economic evaluation, economic analysis. System, generic term, software application that provides high level information to decision makers. This is a federal enterprise term used in USA. Feedback, very important. In IT projects, when you run a program or something for a project or something else, there is always, you write down that if this happens, proceed forward. If it doesn't meet this value or the standard, go back. Okay. And similarly in projects, when you are doing a project, feedback is sent to all stakeholders. Information is passed regularly. That's why we have the report system, that the person, like a construction project, people at in the site office of the project team, they send daily log, daily progress report, and that is how you monitor a project and you control a project, okay, the progress. So feedback is very important. 5 forces model, a tool developed by Michael Porter that analyzes an industry in terms of 5 competitive forces. Some economics terms, analysis, and analytical technique for assessing the value added for various stages or functions in a process. Gap analysis. Gap analysis naturally flows from benchmarking or other assessments. Goal. We are very familiar with this. For any project plan, you decide on certain goals so that when you proceed further, you want to achieve those. They are based on the problem which you are researching or making a plan about, and also they are related to the aim. Okay. Governance, common term. We talk a lot these days that government has poor governance. So the systems and processes in place for ensuring proper accountability. Improvement to make things better. Indicator, a simple metric that is intended to be easy to measure. You want to measure the progress, you want to check something, you set some indicators, all right, to achieve those. Input is something which goes inside a project, all right. Information technology, you all are very familiar with this term. Intermediate overflow, an outcome from a business activity that can be identified and measured in the near term and in an indicator of longer term outcomes. IT investment management approach, a very popular term used by IT people, an analytical framework for linking IT investment decisions to an organization's strategic objectives and business plans. Key performance indicators, okay. You decide on certain indicators that if they are achieved, that tells you the success of a project. Knowledge management caters to the critical issues of organizational adaptation, survival and competence in face of increasingly discontinuous environmental change. Logic model, okay, very popular model, a generic model of any business process. When you set up a business model to do something, do a project or something, or plan a project, you set up a logic or a process, okay, and you call that as a logic model. Managing for results and a process inspired by US Government Performance and Results Act that combines strategic planning, performance measures and budgeting to place the focus on results. Measurement, common term. Matrix, often used interchangeably with measurements, okay. However, it may be helpful to separate these definitions. Matrix model is very popular in various fields, like in project management. When we make a plan, one of the areas we consider to put in the project plan is the risk management chapter, and in that one you create a matrix to analyze various risks and put them in a matrix and highlight them against probability of happening and the cost of that damage if that risk happens. Mission activities, things that an agency does for its customers. Mission value, outcomes, benefits per unit cost. Mixed system, an information system that supports both financial and non-financial functions. Model, a representation of a set of components of a process, system or subject area. Common term again, okay, like in quantitative analysis in MBA and executive MBA programs, we teach this course, and in that we teach students various models like operational research, like linear programming, like matrix model earlier I mentioned. So you do a representation of a set of components of a process, system or subject area, and decide on various variables which you can put them, some dependent, others independent variables, to establish the value of a dependent variable, like regression analysis. Net present value I mentioned earlier on. It is one of the 4 economic analysis techniques. It is simply you get the total cost of a plan of a project and total benefits, and then you subtract benefits from the cost. Or if you get profit, That's what you want. That is the net present value of that project at that time. Non-valued added work activities that add no value to the mission of the organization. Objective, an aim or intended result of a strategy. In a plan or in a project, first, after the problem is identified, you first decide on the aim, that what is the aim of your project or your making this project plan. So based on that aim, then you decide on 1, 2, 3, 4 objectives. Organization, command, control and feedback relationship among group of people and information system. Okay. We have national organizations, we have international organizations. Outcomes, a description of the intended result, effect or consequence that will occur from carrying out a program or activity, OMB. Outcome measure, a long-term, you see the plan or the outcomes you measure on short-term and long-term basis. Normally short-term are annual based, 2 years plan, 3 years plan, and more than that we put them into medium plans. And if it is more than 5 years, normally economists and the planning commission and others, they call it a long-term plan. Output, I have already talked about it, products and services developed which come out of your project, out of your development project. Like in IT, you want to write a program, and when that program is ready and you market it, so that is our output. Okay. Performance goal, a target set to achieve. Okay. That's what as a policy or after analysis, you said, okay, we want to do this assignment, this project, and that's what we want to achieve. So you set a target or goal for yourself. Performance indicator, a particular value or characteristic used to measure output or outcome. Yardstick. Performance measure, the process of developing measurable indicators that can be systematically tracked to assess progress made in achieving predetermined goals. Performance metric is same thing as metrics. We talked about it. PEST analysis, a planning tool for identifying external, political, legal, economic, social and technological issues that could affect the strategic planning of an organization. Plan, okay, we make a project plan, you make a plan to do something, you plan to invest. Policy, governance, an integrated set of concepts and principles that describe the job of any government board. Primary customer, the primary group that must be satisfied if the overall mission of the organization is to succeed. Very important. Profit, we all understand. Okay, you on the project, on a product, it's a cost, and it's a, if after it's marketed, you have the benefits of the profit. So what you from the profit, total benefits, deduct the total cost. That's what the profit is. That's what you're looking for. Okay. Project management, very important field these days. It has come up importance wise in Pakistan for the last 5, 6, 7 years. In the advanced countries it came in like 10, 15 years. Now we have proper MS and outside universities, some of them are offering PhD in project management, and national, international organizations and the companies, now they have started giving importance to the people who have this qualification, and it certainly adds to your CV if you have this degree. And the universities are offering now in Pakistan as well. ComSat is the first one to introduce this MS in project management in 2008. Other universities have started offering it too on the weekends and the evening too. So the people who are working, they can join this degree program and in 3 semesters get a MS degree. Return on investment, ROI, in the private sector, the annual financial benefit after an investment minus the cost in the investment. Risk analysis, I mentioned earlier on. We do risk analysis when we do make a plan, when do a project. Risk analysis chapter is a very important section in that plan. Sensitivity analysis is a model which is again used extensively, and basically this is again based on number of products you produce and how many you sell, what rate you sell, and after making that table, when you draw a graph, you get a break-even point. That's what your CEO is interested in, that's what you are interested in, that when we will have a break-even point. It's a very important concept, break-even. You need to understand this, and this is part of analysis, economic analysis, and sensitivity model is the model in which you find out that, okay, if I produce 500 units which are sold at $15 per unit, I reach a break-even point. That means whatever is spent, I have recovered. And from then onwards is the profit. All right? In IT projects particularly, the CEO of a company or you are interested to know this, that okay, because like construction, it's not a long term. IT technology is moving fast, and so that has to be product has to be produced on time within reasonable cost and marketed on time. Otherwise, you will lose the edge. And that's what when you make a plan to do that, make that product and market it, your boss wants to know that please go and do the analysis and make a break-even chart for me and break-even analysis graph for me. So you take these 2 slides, 2 pages to him or her, and tell her that, sir, when we make 500 units and sell them, we are break-even. All right. After that is profit. Very important model. 6 Sigma concept literally refers to the reduction of errors. It's in statistics. It's a statistical term, and useful to know that. Okay, stakeholders in a project, in an investment, anybody who is related to that in one way or another one. I give you an example, like a client comes to your company. You are a national, international company, and your CEO calls you, you are the project manager, you have done this project management degree, and you have experience, you have done projects. So your boss calls you, a client has come to him with an offer that he has $100 million, and he wants us to conceive a project in some field, or his client can suggest that too. So once you start making the plan, so CEO is the stakeholder, you are the stakeholder, that client is the stakeholder. So anybody who is involved in the plan, and also when you do that project, execute it, anybody who is involved in that. That's why in a project management plan, you write in the scope management chapter, you make a charter. In that charter, which is somewhat legal document, you write the names of all stakeholders and everybody signs it, and you as the project manager keep it in safe custody. If later on there is a change, you come back and make a change, and that new charter is again signed and the old one is discarded. So stakeholders are very important to be involved as you go along in making the plan, as well as when you are executing the project, you need to take them on board. Keep them informed on daily basis, on weekly basis, through emails, through telephone. Give them the progress, where you are, what's happening, there's no problem or there's a problem. If there is a problem, first you take your CEO, your boss in confidence, and ask him or her that we found a mistake we did earlier on, I'm trying to rectify it. So should I tell the other stakeholders or not? With that sort of confidence, then he or she says, fine, tell the client, no problem. Okay, so you tell the client, sorry sir, we slipped someplace and we have rectified that, but that is resulting in 1 day's delay, but we will make it up some other way. Standards, we know it. You manufacture something, you do a project, you do something, you want to meet national and international standards. There are some safety standards, there are some other technical standards, quality standards, so you want to meet those, okay? So you set those in the plan right in the beginning. SPC, a mathematical procedure or model for measuring and tracking the variability or change in a manufacturing process. SBU, in a commercial company, SBU is a unit of the company that has separate mission and objectives, and that can be planned and evaluated independently from the other parts of the company. It may be a division, it may be a section. Strategic objective, general objective, often synonymous or same thing with a general goal. Some people call this with this name. Strategic altitude, the level of generality, scope and detail in a strategic statement. Strategic business unit, a portion of an organization aligned to a particular strategy. Strategic elements, mission, vision, values, assessment, data, strategic plans, they are all called strategic elements. Strategic imperatives, okay, company values, okay. When you join a company, a new job or something, your director, your CEO gives you a motivational talk, and in that may mention that strategic imperatives, that is, company values are very important for us, and you need to be thinking the same way and do your best to keep those values important and intact. Strategic initiatives, specific activities or actions undertaken to achieve a strategic goal. Strategic measures or matrices, quantifiable indicators of status of strategic activities. Strategic plan, we listen to this all the time. There is a like a tactical plan or a strategic plan, okay. In army, like for example, Army, Navy, Air Force, they use, when they make a plan to train or in a war, you know, they call it tactical if it is concerned to the local situation, short term, but at the same time the division, the corps has strategic plans, long term, okay, to counter enemy's aggressive attitude or something over long term. So strategic plans need more resources and take longer time and is more expensive as compared to the plan or the tactical plan. Strategic target is same definition as target. Strategic themes, the general strategy broken down into few separate or distinct focus areas. Strategy, hypotheses or educated guesses that propose the direction an organization or a company should go to fill its vision. Strategy map related to strategy. Sunk cost in In plans, in making budgets, in costing projects, this term is a very important term. All right, we have direct costs, we have indirect costs, we have fixed costs. Like for a company, the rent of the building, 6-story building, their offices are, that's a fixed cost. More or less that stays every year the same, except with little increase that the owner wants. But otherwise for you it's a fixed cost. The cost which comes out of because of producing those variable products is variable. That can change. All right, this month you produce those products, each one is $15, and in 3 months' time maybe the raw material has gone up or something else has gone up or hourly wage has gone up. So instead of $15, now you are producing it for $17. So they are variable costs. Okay. So we must be clear about fixed cost, variable cost, and sunk cost, a cost incurred in the past that will not be affected by any present or future decision. Sometimes you start a project and find out that something was spent on this project, on this idea earlier on too. In projects, for example, land used projects, you start planning and suddenly your section which deals with the property or something or surveys, they tell you that we spent 5 lakh rupees doing a survey of this land which we purchased now 2 years ago. So that's the cost against this project. They show it in the books, but you don't have to put it in your cost of the costing of the project or the product. Okay, but you should know it. Okay, but in the company books it's shown against that project. Support activities, internal business activities that enable achievement of mission activities and strategy. SWOT analysis, abbreviation, an assessment tool for identifying the overall strategic situation in an organization by listing its strength, weakness, opportunities and threats. So they are the 4 important things. Sometimes challenges are substituted for threats. You can call them challenges, you have threats. Whenever you make a plan a project, you have these threats or challenges, and somebody gave it abbreviated name as SWOT. System we talked earlier on, tactical goal, output goal, target, numerical value of a performance metric that is to be achieved by a given date. All right, that's the target. All right, you are given to do a project or make a plan, and a target is set for you that you have 7 days, you have 15 lakh rupees for you, and you can select 3 more people to make up the team for you to project team. If you want an IT person in that, let me know. I will talk to the director IT and tell him to give you somebody for 1 week. So target is set for the output, for something the company wants, the client wants. Threshold, a specified numerical value of a performance metric. A performance metric is set, but then you quantify and make some assumptions and you give it a numerical value. Okay, mathematical value, numerical value, and that's also called threshold. Okay, you have to achieve that threshold. Okay, like for an athlete, okay, you're the coach and you say, okay, you need to train very hard, and after 1 month I want you to do the high jump of at least 6 feet or over. So that's a threshold for you. You start practicing, training, and that's what you put the bar, and you want to jump over 6 feet. Same 100 meter race, your coach says, okay, this month you train and we will finish this in so much time, and then next month we'll reduce it to so much time. So those are the values of the sharayat or the limits is put on you. Business also, thresholds. Total quality management, TQM, methodology for continuous monitoring and increment improvement of a supply line process by identifying causes of variation and reducing them. Triple bottom line, an expanded baseline for measuring organizational performance, adding social and environmental dimensions. Unit common term. Value added, those activities or steps that add to or change a product or services as it goes through the process. Value chain, those activities or steps that add to or change a product or service as it goes through a process. These are the activities or steps that customers view as important or necessary. Value chain, the sequential, step-by-step set of primary and secondary activities that an enterprise performs to turn into value-added or profitable outputs. Value proposition, the unique added value an organization offers customers through their operations. Vision, common term. Okay, so university has this vision, department has this vision. Okay, you have a vision in your life. Okay, that's what long-term and short-term goals you set based on that. Okay, you said university says we have a vision, and long-term means 5 years, next 10 years. ComSets want to establish a city planning department with the architect department, all right, and call it a school of architecture and city planning. Okay, that's a long-term plan. Short-term, we want to add MBA traffic management, MBA aviation management to the existing management programs. Okay, and we need to do that within 5 years. Okay, short-term. So you can say those in the vision. Okay, you go to the internet or look at the catalog. Right in the beginning, it will be written the vision of the university, and a message from the vice chancellor or the rector, who talks about that the vision of this university is this. Zachman framework, classic work on the concepts of information system and architecture that defined the concept of a framework and provided a 6x6 matrix. All right, 6 this way, 6 this way, and then you use that matrix to do the metric analysis. Those were the important terms. Some of those, please go over those when you get time, and if you read them a couple of times, don't have to remember them in the same language or same length, same sentences, as long as you understand and you can talk it out in your own language, but at least basic words or the terms, you should understand that. And when you are talking while making a presentation in the management field, or you are selling a product, you should use the proper terminology. That's what IT people do always, that they use the IT terminology, whether they are planning a project, whether they are selling a product, or they are having a meeting with other IT professionals, other professionals. So that not only that using correct terminology gives a good impression, but it also makes your paper, your plan, your presentation look better, and looks a sound presentation, and gives a good impression to the audience, to the people. We all understand management, okay? But this reference book defines very nicely, if you look at it, it gives many definitions, like about 11. Okay, I'm just going to read one or two. Management is the art of things doing through people. So that means people are involved. Organization is involved, people are involved. Okay, so when we say, you say I am the manager of R&D division in my company, all right, so that means you are managing people. You have certain workers, technical and non-technical, working under you. Okay, you have an office and you have assignments, you do research and development, you identify products. So this team is working together. They get the inputs, put the inputs, and they get the outputs required by the company, by the policy, as a result of your research. So people are involved. This for the management is the process. Second is, it must have a process. Okay. Normally we talk of step-by-step process. There is a set way of going, not haphazardly. All right. Management is the process of planning, organizing, leading, controlling of the efforts of the organization. So the organization needs to do efforts in an organized way. Okay. And that's also in the management field. Another one, management is the process of working with and through others to achieve organization goals in the changing environment. All right. So there are many other definitions. If you go to the internet, find out. So there are quite a few. Talking of development of the management theory and practice, this has management field, or this has come over many years. All right. Many scholars, many management experts or professionals, they worked in this and they evolved various terminologies and various theories. Like this one says, the field of management grew in its formalization during the latter part of 19th century. Before that, people were not very much aware with this management theories and practice, okay, why it's important and how it is applied. But end of the 19th, the professional and the research came out and the people started talking of various theories. 20th century, along with the rise of industrial revolution, the growth of management concepts was needed to guide the growth of industrial manufacturing. Why this was important? Because this helped in industrial manufacturing. Like in England, United States, and other places. United States and Europe, UK, a similar growth in emergency management theory also evolved in response to the need for theory. So under various environment, various situations, those theories, the professionals, the scholars talked about it, but then as the situation changed, they modified those theories and gave them different names. Okay. This slide talks of emergency, like we had earthquake and all that, you know. So people applied various models and various theories to this situation. Our current focus on homeland security, like we have a security problem, the world has security problem, so everybody is trying to focus, take measures, spend money, do projects, so that we don't have mishaps, we don't have problems. Our current focus on homeland security is also driving the development of even more concepts in this area, concepts of these theories. Management theory provides what it does. It provides a sound basis or foundation for supporting the emergence of emergency management. It enhances the emergency management theory, utilizing the management process from planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. This Mr. Foyle in 1960, some of the names who did work in this, Mitzbert 73, Katz 74, and Kuntz 84, Taylor 1911, considered management a process and one that if approached scientifically would lead to success. They say that if we follow these theories, one or more theory, That's the organized way of doing things, organized way of planning, organized way of managing. So chances of success will increase. If you don't follow a model, you don't follow a theory model, the chances of success will diminish, cost will go up, you'll take more time to do those things. His principles of scientific management initiated a revolution in how viewed both the process and position of management. Many of the early writers and scholars in management contended that there was a right way of organizing work and accomplishment task. Who said this? Gilbreth in 1911. Others built on engineering approaches. Now, the management and engineers started talking in their field. Okay, and they said, okay, engineering is not only technical, but also it is directly related to the management field. That is why now we have not only MBAs and executive MBAs, we have engineering management program, a master's. Okay, some of the universities in Pakistan also running those. Okay, in Islamabad, some universities, I know it. The interpersonal, informational and decisional roles this author criticized or characterized are mutually applicable to the emergency manager in the public, private and non-profit organizations. The theory of management has grown. Okay, this is called theory of management. This has grown over the past 100 years. So the history of theory of management is a century old. Okay, people conceived this idea, they have been working on it, they have been using it over such long time. Okay, and what happened then? They evolved from the time and motion studies of engineers to contribute from social scientists. The Hawthorne studies, famous study, and a behavioral approach to more quantitative approach that look for best. Here the terminology quantitative, I want to say something. We have quantitative and qualitative. In management we used these two terms and we should be familiar with those. Just in layman's language, quantitative means we can quantify it in monetary terms, mostly. Qualitative is subjective. Like we have qualitative analysis, we have quantitative analysis. Qualitative is that you sit with your team and you discuss various options of a project. The technique is called brainstorming. And those ideas, those comments everybody gives is based on his or her education, experience, and knowledge of past studies, past projects. So after discussing for some time, then you come out with certain outcomes, some deductions, and it says, okay, we agree on this, on this, on this. But in a project evaluation, like economic analysis, I mentioned that you want to calculate total costs and total benefits. When you talk of benefits, that if we make this road, all right, the number of accidents will decrease. If we make this hospital in a rural area, the sick people will be evacuated quickly and less mothers will die, less babies will die. Then you put a monetary value on those benefits. How many, you collect the data from the health department or the departments, you find out that before the hospital every year there used to be 50 deaths and now we have reduced this to 30 mothers are dying. So you put a value on that and you look at the age of those mothers, their qualifications, their value in the society, and they put a rupee value on them. Somebody died at 40, had a long time to go. Somebody died at 60, you put a less value, and you total up and you say we have quantified this benefit. And that's what you're doing. You are doing a quantitative analysis. The ongoing assessment of disaster response programs using quantitative measure criteria shows that TQM can be used in emergency management. This technique can be used very effectively in emergency responses. Okay, this slide I talked about management theories, very briefly. Lot of research also has been done on the management theories. Now I have a small PowerPoint presentation which I found on the internet, just few slides which I'll show you to sort of talk about same things, management theory and practice. I talked about in the slides I showed you, it was about management theories, history of those theories, very briefly. A lot is written and said about those. As I mentioned, or you saw on the slide, that the history is like 100 years old. So that it tells us that how important this subject is. So people became conscious of management 100 years ago, and then the professionals did research and evolved various theories, including the last one I talked about, response to emergencies, like we have big earthquake few years ago. So people responded and used various management theories, various organizations, national and international. Now my next slide is just a small PowerPoint presentation consisting of just a few slides. That's about management theory and practice. Here this is about facility management. Facility management focuses on managing equipment and structures to make sure they are working correctly, as well as the intricate task of managing people. Okay, so facility management involves the structure, the machinery, the equipment, and the people. All need to be functioning properly. So that if that happens, that means you are managing it well. Management procedures, management models, management applications in your organization are doing fine. Next, employees have emotions. Out of these three factors, that is structures, buildings, people, equipment and structures are not people. They need to function also, they need to operate properly. But people have emotions, they are human beings. Okay, when in a division, there's a manager and 8 people working under him. So on daily basis, the emotions play a great part or role and affect in a positive manner or negative manner depending on the situation. So that is why we talk of leadership, we talk of motivation, we talk of procedures. So here employees have emotions, feelings, moods, desires, and complex personalities that cannot be overlooked and represents a dynamic challenge to managers. The manager, the director, the CEO, they have a responsibility. Okay, they have to have the knowledge of these theories, they have to have the knowledge of these principles, and they need to apply these management models properly, and they need to understand the people working under them. They are human beings. They can't treat them like parts, like machinery, like buildings. They're different, okay? That is a dynamic challenge. That's what I tried to say here. Facility management versus personnel management. The difference between them is facility management involves the use of equipment or building to help achieve the facility's mission, while people or personnel management focuses how people help reach that facility goal. You have the buildings, you have the equipment, you have the machinery, but how you achieve that goal is those people. They need to manage, they need to operate those, and they need to work to achieve that goal you have set. They need to achieve those, the mission. Okay. Despite the difference, they are integrated. Equipment cannot operate without people. You can buy modern machinery, modern buildings, set up a big thing. If you don't have efficient managers, if you don't have good people, you don't have professional people to work, your organization will not achieve. Development of management theory. Again, some of the names I mentioned in the last slide. Frederick Taylor is one, Elton Mayo, Frederick Hertzberg, Victor Groom. These are some famous names. What happened in 21st century facility managers? Some of the things I quoted here. And staff must know how to use computers in order to effectively manage. This all happened in 21st. Computers came in a big way. Computer facility management came into use. Few primary areas of importance included space, computer-aided drafting, capital planning tracks the conditions of facility and equipment. So we came a long way in the last century. Managerial skills versus leadership skills. All right. To me, manager has to be a leader too. But here is just a simple comparison that to find out are the same or they are two different things. Okay. So left side is managerial traits or characteristics. Right side is leadership characteristics or traits. Coercive authority. Manager must be coercive. That means pursue the employee. Sometimes he has to give reason, sometimes with a little force, with little emphasis, force the person to do and achieve what you want to achieve. On the other side, leader must have a personal charisma. You know, the people are different leaders. Okay, sometimes you find a leader who right away says something, does something, gives a speech, and he has a charisma. वो कहते हैं miracle हो गया जी, ऐसा बोला वो फलाना leader ये जी वो जी, as compared to another leader. That's the difference between the two. Time management skills. Manager must have time management skills. Okay, time is very important. So is the cost. Leader shows by example. A leader leads. A leader, a director says, okay, everybody will work today till 6 o'clock and finish this. I'm going for a meeting at 3. And then later somebody finds out that 3 o'clock he went home. Okay? The people working under him will not have a good impression of that leader. Okay? So whatever you say, you act on that yourself too. Must have organizational skills. Manager must seek stability, focus on managing tasks, have subordinates, maintains control, appeals to the head, transactional style. Simple terminology, I hope you understand. On the other side, leader hires well, fill in the spots, seeks change for better, always focus on leading people, have followers. If there are no followers, you can't call that man or a woman a leader. Similarly, you can't call a manager if he doesn't have or she doesn't have employees working for him. You say, I am a manager. Okay, who is working under you? Nobody. Okay, so what are you managing then? Okay. Appeals to the heart, transformational style. Okay. So this is a brief comparison between a manager and a leader. Successful strategies to run a facility or an organization. First and foremost, every facility manager must act in an ethical manner. Ethics very important, and that's where now overall internationally and particularly I will say in our country we are falling behind very badly. Okay, ethics is very important. Students, we talk, okay, the teacher on the first day says here is the syllabus and ethics, you need to do this, do that, you to write a paper, it's an individual work, you do need to do this exam, you cannot ask somebody, you cannot open a book. So ethical honesty and ethics is very important. In business, in management, it's all the more important. A reputation is one of the most valuable assets the person will ever have. If you as a manager, if you do a thing which is non-ethical and you don't have a good character, good trait, you will be known in the organization. You will be known in the company. You will be known in the street. You will be known in the locality. So that's not a good sign. That's not a good thing. You don't want that, okay? Because in future then your senior will not trust you. Your juniors will not have confidence in you. All right, if I know about you that you have these weaknesses and these problems and I am told to work under you, I will try my best, put some excuse and say, tell my director that please don't put me under him to work. I have something else to do and all that, because I don't want to work at him. I know he is non-ethical person and he has problems. Always utilize integrity in difficult situations. Integrity we all understand. Daily we use it. Oh, that person doesn't have integrity. That man doesn't have integrity. That woman doesn't have any integrity. Izzat. ठीक है जी, बड़ी ज़रूरी है. Focus on the facilities, core competencies. Every organization, there are certain things they are specialized in. There are certain things, they do 10 things, but 2 things they are known for. So you want to uphold those if you are involved with the management. While outsource specific tasks that will improve service quality. Outsourcing concept is very important. If I was teaching economic analysis to you or cost management and, of the project management portion, I will teach you outsourcing. It's a very popular concept now. Basically it means that the company does things and outsource some. Like in America, the big companies, Macy's, very expensive, JC Bank, JS Bank. So what they do is they order high quality garments, shirts, ladies wear from Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Indonesia, but they are export quality. And they set standards and give them design, and they send the, after making the yarn and the material in US, they ship it to that country, third world country where the labor is cheap, and there these garments are made and shipped back to that store. And that's outsourcing. Okay. Similarly, your company, you are making products. A client comes to your CEO that you make, I have found out you make 1,000 items per month. And that is costing you, I have found out that $15 per item. You pay $20 to the salesperson to sell it in the market because you are not selling it. You market it, and there are people outside, like the concept, you know, all the stores and all that, people come and deliver goods. So the salesperson says, I will sell your product, I'm very good in selling, and I will sell nationally, internationally, I will charge $20 per item. That includes my profit, my work, my time, my transport, my expertise. So it's costing you $35. I'll buy your product at $20. You manufacture and make $5 per item. Your CEO calls you that do quick analysis. You do that break even and quick analysis and economic analysis or other analysis, whatever. You tell your boss, good sir, accept it. Because we have capacity to make 1500 per month. So I will put into gear my capacity to produce 500 more. So you sell 500 to him every month. And we'll make some money from there. I'll produce still 1000 and we'll go the same way with the salesperson. That's outsourcing. So this concept has come a long way, very good. In our country also, I think people are using. Okay, in civil engineering products, contracts, I hope I'm right when I give an example of you are constructing your house, you get a contractor and sign a contract with him or her, and that contractor hires 3 subcontractors. Electrical separate, plumber separate, so 4 subcontractors work for him, but you are only dealing with that contractor. So that person has outsourced rather than himself supervising all 4 areas. So that's another example I can think of. Outsourcing, I have talked before this slide. Facility analysis, this includes facility analysis and assessment, energy use analysis, HVAC, energy management, construction, budget, pro forma, housekeeping, environmental services, some other approaches, some other talk, okay. But basically I explained to you outsourcing concept. Private managing companies, pros and cons mean pluses and minuses, okay. Advantages, disadvantages. The word is pros and cons. Pros are good things: create booking leverage, increased corporate support, reduce stress and budget implications, effective negotiation and negotiation strategies. Facility staff focuses on core competencies leading to professional growth of the staff. Negative side is it's expensive, relinquish some control, okay. Your control will reduce because you are not doing all that. Turnover of loyalty to PMC, loss of responsibility, short-term cost cutting could lead to long-term damage, excessive turnover of due to increased opportunities. Global picture or spectrum, because this is what we do every day. We have a great deal of knowledge about this business as a result of managing many facilities. We have access to people who want to make a career in this industry, and therefore we often have access to better qualified and trained individuals. Our focus is on generating revenues. Because of presence in multiple facilities, our buying power is greater. We have systems and procedures that result in greater efficiencies. After looking at these slides, you can think of these questions and do some brainstorming. This is just a food for thought. That do you think facility management outsourcing is beneficial for a health club? Okay, for a place, you know, where you have those exercise machines and other tools to take care of your health side. If you were a facility manager, what services do you think you would want to outsource and why? Just take a paper and pencil in your time and just jot down few points for yourself. Make a picture that what's the facility and who you are CEO or the manager, and what you are doing, what you are producing, and out of that, which one you think you can outsource, okay? And this is just analytical thinking, you know. Okay, I think I'll conclude here my first lecture. and after a short while we'll continue with the second lecture. I hope I could explain some important aspects so far. Particularly I explained some important definitions, and this textbook as well as the reference book I have suggested has this chapter on important terminology or definitions for you to refer now or later in your professional life. And also I showed you this slides on theory. We'll talk more about it and talk more about management. Thank you.